All right, and we do apologize for that earlier hitch where we had already introduced the governor for Nairobi, Dr. Kidero, and we are now clear. We've sorted out the hitch and we are ready to go. So I'll start off from just where we were before. Welcome, first of all, to the studio. And why should Nairobi give you a second chance?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here this morning. Morning is cold, not as cold as the normal July. But it's a great morning and a good morning to all Nairobians. We got elected, I got elected, me and Mweke, in March 2013. We were the first in the new constitution, in devolution. Nairobi had gone through a period of non-investment, both in terms of productivities, in terms of service delivery, in terms of the infrastructure. And we've now created a platform that will deliver investments for Nairobi on infrastructure, in health, in water. And over and above that, we are reliable, we are dependable, we are predictable, and Nairobians can count on us, unlike other people who are claiming this seat.
Okay, as you say, you are predictable. Some might argue that, yes, you are predictable because you took over Nairobi when there was a water problem, for example, and there still is a huge water problem in Nairobi. You know, I mean,
the issue of water cannot be resolved in one day because the total production of water is 647. Probably, I apologize for using statistics, but people need to understand what is required. The amount of water that is required is 750,000 cubic meters. We only produce about 600,000. But with this drought, we are down to 29% of the 600,000. So we're only getting a third of what you know that the rains had failed. There had not been investments in the water sector for the last 30, 40 years. Actually, the last investment was in 1998 when Sisimo Dam was built in Nyandarua. And it's only during my time that we are increasing this capacity by 150,000 cubic meters by building the Northern Collector Tunnel from Mathioya River into Ndakaine. So still, that will not resolve the water requirement completely. But this particular time, it has been made worse by that drought.
What would the solution be moving forward? Because if we're still blaming drought and the weather patterns, which obviously may not improve and we don't have control over, then we have a bigger problem. Given that when it rains, we forever have issues with floods. Do we do anything about water harvesting, for example?
I said, I mean, we're the first one. We're putting 20 billion shillings. We are working on a program of water repurifications, especially the water that's not coming from the sewer system. We could recirculate that. We are actually doing 400 boreholes that will increase the water capacity. But the recirculating and recycling of water is a major thing, and that's what's done in almost all the cities, because as they say in physics, matter can neither be created nor destroyed.
Okay, yeah. And now given that you're seeking a second term within the Nairobi County government, what assurance would you give Nairobians in regards to water? What should they expect in the next term, should you be the next governor?
I said, I mean, there were 150,000 cubic meters will be online on stream. You'll recall that there was a bit of a problem when some of the leaders from Murang'a went to court and stopped us from doing the project, but that was resolved, and the 20 billion project shilling is on, and the 150,000 cubic meters will be in within the next 3 months. Okay. And that is wholly attributable to me and my administration, though we must understand that the water supply is divided into two. There is the network and there's the trunk. But there'd never been a push from the networks so that the trunks could increase supply.
Okay. We recently had Nairobi water workers going on strike, and this was because they were raising issues with the privatization of Nairobi water. What are your comments on that?
I think there was completely a misconception, because Nairobi Water is a wholly owned company by the Nairobi City County government. And at no time has my government ever discussed, imagined, or even perceived of privatizing. Because if you privatize water, then you'll start selling water at commercial rates, which the common person will not be able to afford. Of course, there were discussions which I was aware of on limiting the loss of what you call non-revenue water, this through leakage pipes, because some of the pipes are old as 100 years, through illegal connections, and they were looking for expertise that could help that, and that's what was the discussion. But at no time has there ever been a discussion of privatization, because in any case, if a government body is going to be private as a public body, then the Privatization Act and the Privatization Commission that would handle it, and that was never the case.
Okay, so that was a total misconception?
It was a total misconception. I think, there were issues. Contracts of two of the directors was coming to an end, and it was being reviewed. And obviously, at this particular time, when jobs is an issue, a lot of things happen. Temperatures rise, emotions rise, but I believe the board is handling it in their stride in the best way possible. And of course, I want to thank the workers, because once they understood, they knew what the correct position was, they went back and they're working and they're giving their best service to Nairobi.
Let's look at still water and sanitization and the issue of cholera, which of course many have said that is very embarrassing in this day and age, especially in a city like Nairobi, which is a very metropolitan city, modern city, which is hosting major meetings and leaders from all over the world to be having cholera at this point in time. What do you have to say about that as the government?
Did you mean sanitization or sanitation?
Sanitation.
Okay. The cholera is a very, very unfortunate, is an unfortunate situation. We first became aware of it about 6 weeks ago, when people traveled from out of town and came into a wedding within the city, and the people who traveled in probably having traveled with cholera became sick. So far, we've had about 780 cases investigated, but only about 108 proved to be positive for cholera. And we've had 8 deaths. But it must be understood, for you to get cholera, you actually must eat fecal matter, either through food or through contamination of your hands. And always the best prevention is washing hands, making sure you observe good hygiene practices. We've investigated the sources. One, the two institutions that were said to have supplied the food that caused it, we closed them. All the workers in these particular areas are going for new medical exams and are being vaccinated afresh with this vaccination. We have marshaled all the form, because a third of our workforce, of the 13,000 employees we have at the county, 1/3 of about 4,000 work in the health department. We've marshaled all our health people to work with communities to make sure that hygiene and cleanliness is observed. We are doing health education. We've opened medical training, medical treatment units, and supplied sufficient drugs and the infusion fluids to these institutions. And I believe, we've controlled them, because in the last 7 days, we've not had any new infections, and we've not had any new reports, and we've taken time on we're doing public education in public barazas, giving lectures at the hospitals. We are visiting families through the CHWs, the community health workers, to make sure that this issue is contained. And as you said, is unfortunate. But this cholera is not only confined to Nairobi. We have about 12 other counties who have had this problem. And it's exacerbated, more particularly when there's no sufficient water. And just not in Kenya. Kenya is not one of those endemic countries where you have to be vaccinated against cholera. If you're visiting, if you're going to India, you must get, some of the Far Eastern countries, you must get cholera vaccinations. So yes, we could be as clean as we are, but is a case that can be imported because cholera is not endemic in Nairobi.
And we're hoping that it's going to be nipped in the bud. And I know
Absolutely.
part of the exercise that you have done is that the health officers have cracked down and even closed some hotels, but others have not been affected despite being, you know, one of those that were found with cholera. Case in point, like Western Hotel, there were cases found there, but it was not closed. Any reason?
I think Western Hotel, as I said, we were going to investigate, and we investigated, and it was found that the food that was the infection came through samosas, which were supplied from a third party, and the action was actually taken from that third party. But let me just add, recently I heard one of my colleagues saying that the governor has cholera. As you can see, I'm as fit as a fiddle. I haven't had cholera.
You've not had cholera.
I haven't had cholera.
And we can confirm that you're here physically.
Yeah.
Let's move away.
And you don't have to be afraid of me.
No, I shook your hand and well, I'll still observe hygiene after, but that is just normal practice.
Yes.
But looking also at one of the promises that you gave when you came in as governor of Nairobi is to deal with what many would look at as a basic problem, but is still a problem till today, garbage in Nairobi.
When we came in, the county had only 3 trucks, no 13 trucks. We now have 85 trucks. We've contracted more trucks to collect. But where does the garbage problem start? It starts with us. Every Nairobian produces half a kilo of garbage. So how you dispose it is the beginning of the problem. You dispose it carelessly, it becomes, I mean, what is important is every Nairobian, and I believe you, even when driving or even walking, you must have had a packet of chips landing on your face or somebody throwing
it out.
Yeah,
but
plastic.
Governor, we end up with this vicious cycle of the county government or the government, the national government, blaming Kenyans and Kenyans saying the county government. It has to stop somewhere. And at this point in time, one would say we should have county officers who are able to enforce. We have dustbins which have been put in place, but people still don't use them.
I think that's probably where we need to start. I mean, everybody needs to feel responsible. Everybody needs to feel called that cleanliness, just like the issue of cholera, starts with me. I need to dispose of my garbage or rubbish responsibly. I need to make sure, because we all say that if everybody kept their doorstep clean, the whole world would be very clean.
Cleaner.
And what we are saying that if garbage was never collected, the pile of garbage, we wouldn't have a city. And the fact that we collect garbage is produced every day, we collect it every day. It's produced every day, we collect it every day. All we need to, all I'm urging is people need to feel responsible. Let them dispose of garbage. Like if you're walking, don't throw a banana peel on the road. Put it
litter.
Yeah, put it in a bin. We have bins in every corner. And we'll work together and make sure Nairobi is clean, because it's a responsibility of everybody.
Are you satisfied so far with how clean Nairobi is, or not clean?
No, we could do better. We will do better, certainly.
So what is it that you're going to do differently that you've not had a chance to do in the last 5 years? Because if it is still left to the people of Nairobi to be responsible with their garbage, you had 5 years to do that. Nothing seems to have been done.
No, we collected from 300 tons a day. We are now collecting 2,000 tons every day. What you're going to ask me, what are we going to do going forward? One of the other biggest problems was the issue of plastic bags under 16 microns. We already passed, the national government passed the law banning it. We've also passed the law banning it. We know how big a problem this is. The second thing is we are investing 27 billion shillings in a recirculation plant where we will divide garbage into 3 bits, solid, plastics, and organic recyclables. And garbage will be recycled and will produce electricity with it. Yeah.
And collection of garbage is purely one end of the problem. Disposing it is another thing altogether.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what we're going to do. Because currently everything goes to Dandora and is such a site and such a mess and is a health hazard. And we've signed that contract. We'll ensure that garbage is managed completely. So
should the people of Nairobi give you the opportunity to
when they give me the opportunity.
Okay, I'll still maintain should, because for me, I don't know. For you, it is when. Yeah. It's a different angle, but that's okay. That's semantics. Now, when that time comes, and if you become the governor of Nairobi again, how long are you giving for the people of Nairobi to say that this city is going to be one of the cleanest cities in the world? Because that really should be the target.
I mean,
do we have a time frame?
Yeah, within the next 12 months, I mean, we'll have finalized the issue of garbage. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the other issue, of course, that people of Nairobi have to contend with every single day is the issue of traffic. And there just seems to be no solution. We started with what was infamously known as the Kidero drums, which didn't work in some areas, but in Westlands it seems to work, and that was maintained. What's the way forward? Since there's so many cars being registered, people have not stopped buying cars, and something has to give way.
That's why I was a little bit surprised by my friend Sonko saying that in 100 days, when he's elected, he'll have cleared Nairobi streets of traffic. Not realizing that between now and 100 days, if he's elected, there'll have been another 60,000 cars registered within the streets of Nairobi. I think there are two things. I talked about lack of investment. When we've not had investment on our roads for a long time. And it's only now, I mean, you saw we opened the southern bypass, we opened the northern bypass, we opened the eastern bypass. For vehicles that are part of the Trans-African Highway, which were causing the clogging of the city. You'll remember when we were doing these issues of drums, I stopped all trailers from passing through the city.
Through the CBD.
Through the CBD between 5 in the morning and 10 at night. And even these days they don't. Actually, they're very happy. And even those bypasses are now full. Actually, we're working with national government. There's another bypass being built from Manzoni across to Juja, and another one also being built from Athi River across through the northern part of Kajiado, all the way around to Naivasha. That should ease off traffic. The study for the overpass from the airport to Kino is more or less complete, so that all the vehicles that don't need to come into the city will not come into the city. So investment to produce more roads is one thing. But also what probably needs to be understood is that the city is not, the county government is not responsible for all the roads in Nairobi. Uhuru Highway is part of the Trans-African Highway, which is under Kenya, and Langata Road. Ngong Road, which is now being done, is under Kura. Jogo Road, that's the other. But the reason why we have too many people, the reason why Nairobi has got the highest number of single car occupancy is because of lack of a comfortable mass public transport system, either rail or bus system or road. And we've finalized the formation of what you call the Nairobi Metropolitan Transport Authority, which we're working together with national government, and all the 9 transport corridors that we've now formed. We have what you call BRT's Bus Rapid Transit System, which will be taking only buses which take capacities of 100 and above. So until such a time that either commuter rail, the commuter rail is on, and the public transport, bus transport system, because we have 30,000 matatus plying on our road, carrying between 14 and 30 people. When the roads are done and the BRT is done, the new buses that will come will reduce this by 2/3.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break. It is now 24 minutes after 8. This is Morning Express. And in case you're joining us now, well, we do have Dr. Kidero, the governor of Nairobi County, in studio. We're taking a short commercial break, but we'll be right back where we continue with the discussion. A quick reminder that you're welcome to participate. If you have any questions for him, feel free to send them through. And the hashtag is Morning Express KTN, or you can tweet them at KTN News or at Michael G. Gitonga. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.